Hi everyone, welcome to Sacred Soulful Sundays. My name is B. Pila, and let's get into this week's session. Welcome guys to Sacred Soulful Sundays, and today's topic is timing and time and divine timing. I personally have had a very interesting relationship with time in my lifetime, no pun intended, because as you know, I've always felt, and I've shared this many times, that one of my greatest challenges was always feeling that I was kind of running out of time. This has been a running theme and pattern in my life, which took me a very long time to discover. And really, that's actually what today's call is all about, because we have a very interesting relationship with time. And I tried to discern and write down some principles regarding time as a reminder, because I think all of us are at a stage in our lives in which we know we know these principles in theory, right? Which is how life works on this third density. We know these principles in theory, but we don't keep them at the front of our mind. In other words, top of mind. We almost have them running as a theme on the back end, okay? Kind of like in the back end hard drive. They're not in the front of our thought process, okay? But they're very important because they set the groundwork or the foundation for our relationship with the subject of time, okay? For me, some of the most interesting concepts about time is that time is a structure, a format that exists in this reality and only in this third density reality. So we have to first grasp the idea that time is an illusion, okay? And this is like what, that little emoji with the mind-blowing thing coming out of its head. It's kind of that thing that is like, okay, is that true? How can that be? We live the past, the present, and the future, but in reality, we are truly only living in the here and now, in this moment, in this present moment of now. So the principle number one that we have to grasp is that time is just a structure of this third dimension, third density reality. There is no such thing as time for beings that are not in this physical form on this physical plane, right? Therefore, sometimes when we experience a moment of clairvoyance with our ancestors, or we are channeling, or we are thinking about the people that are not in this physical form, there is no connection to whether they are in this reality or not. And we can tap into that plane of dimension like a level, like a different level, like let's call it, the best way to think about it, it's like the radio station on the radio, right? Think of it in terms of, I'm listening to 98.3, so I get that channel and that information, which is in that dimension, right? In that wavelength. But if we switch channels, we can access a different wavelength, which could be the past or the future. Does that make sense? Right? Okay. So principle number two regarding time is that from a higher perspective, there's no such thing. So it's limitless and eternal. We are in turn limitless and eternal. So we are always in this present moment. Therefore, there is no such thing as running out of time. Now, of course, I didn't believe that for myself on a subconscious level for many, many, many years. I always felt this pressure for many years of my life that I was going to run out of time before I was able to fulfill my purpose and mission in this lifetime. And I later came to realize through the core values, the core language that I studied and all the work that I did and all the shadow work that I did, that this thematic pattern in my life wasn't even all my own. It was actually an ancestral baggage that I was carrying from my grandmother. And this was a huge revelation for me. In fact, it didn't even come to being that I completely absorbed that until last year, in which I honored this energy that was working through me. And when I did that, I have to tell you, it was a huge release for me. I can pretty much tell you at this moment in my life that I no longer have that desperation, that energetic anxiety that I am going to run out of time. And I have completely embraced the concept of divine timing, which I have to say is liberating. But just as what we're going to speak about is divine timing, that is exactly what divine timing is. Okay? Divine timing, and let me jump to this description, or at least the definition that I give it from my perspective, and I don't know, this is completely from me, from a perspective of my concept of what it is, that divine timing is the timing or the cycle that you have running in your soul's journey that is a sacred contract between your higher self and the Creator. Okay? This is my personal definition of divine timing. Yes, can I repeat that? Yes, I will repeat it. So divine timing is the timing or the cycle, because even the word time is a limited concept by what I said earlier, which time is a structure of this third density reality. So it's a program, it's a law of this particular universe, just this particular creation of Earth plane, just as we call gravity, okay? Does that make sense? We know that we live under the law of gravity in this planet, right? But if we leave this planet, what happens to those people that are on the moon? There's no gravity, right? That's the law of the moon. So think of it in terms of that. So I like to say that divine timing is the timing or cycle you have running in your soul journey that is a sacred contract between your higher self and the Creator. And I'll post this on the chat later, okay? But the Creator is omnipotent, omniscient, and always love. So it's always running at this high level frequency. And whenever you are feeling a negative emotion, it is expressing the disconnect between you and your Creator, which are always connected, whole and complete. Now, I know this is a lot to grasp, but I need you to understand from what it comes from, which is energy and vibration. So if God is love and we are one with God, when we are not expressing the same frequency that God is, we are expressing the disconnect or the separation between us and God. And the more challenging, negative polarity the emotion is that we are experiencing, the more disconnected we are, or the more separate we are from God. Okay? Now, this concept is kind of basic, but all important to this lesson of today.
Very powerful.
Extremely powerful. If you grasp this concept, if you're able to digest it and integrate it into your knowledge bank, into your wisdom, which is what wisdom is, right? Knowledge is just information. But integrating knowledge is wisdom. Okay? Integrating knowledge is wisdom. And what we're doing here today is integrating the knowledge of time into our wisdom bank. Okay? We're making a big, huge deposit here. Okay? We're making a huge deposit so that we can withdraw from this deposit on a daily basis and remind ourselves that there is no such thing as time. Okay? Now I'm going to make the fourth principle that I wrote down in this lesson today. And the fourth principle is between you and me and not to be divulged to your teenagers. Okay? I'm just kidding. But basically, the fourth principle of time is that there is no such thing as a waste of time. Okay? Don't tell your kids. Don't. Promise you. Will not work for you, will work against you. But let them be under the illusion, let them live under the illusion that they're wasting their time if they're on the internet playing games, okay? Let this be an illusion for them. But for you, know in your heart that there is no such thing as a waste of time. Why? Why is there no such thing as a waste of time? Because you are eternal. Very simple. If you had all the time in the world, literally, in the universe, would you feel that you are wasting or running out of time? No. So we have to absorb and embrace the idea that we are not wasting our time here. And that's kind of hard to do because we live under this illusion of time. We run this pattern of time all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every single 12 months out of the year. We are running this illusionary pattern that only works in this particular plane of existence, just like gravity. Right? So, if we're never wasting time and we're never running out of time, right? Yes, I'll answer this running out of time business and that the lifetime is limited. Yes, we are limited only to the extent that we believe that we are. Okay? And the physical body will run out of time. This is true. Absolutely true. Okay? We will run out of time from a physical perspective, but never from a soul perspective. Never. Okay? And our soul knows better, always, because it's always connected to source and it is always in a state of eternal love. Okay? However, if we chose to come into being in this reality as a physical form with this particular set of skills, talents, gifts, and abilities and qualities that make up what is the personality, okay? We are this personality. There will never be another be that embraces these exact qualities that make me, correct? There will never be another you, a Lupe, a Florinda, This is you. But your personality is not you. Okay? Your personality is your higher self in connection with God or source or creation. Okay? Now, because we came, we chose, we decided, we fragmented ourselves away from our delicious bliss of love purposefully to come into this planet. We accepted the laws of this planet, which include a very important principle of the laws of this planet, which is amnesia. Okay? We decided and accepted when we came into this physical form that we were going to forget for this lifetime what we are and the power of creation that we have. Okay? We accepted this. We said, okay, I'm doing it. I'm diving in. Okay? And when we come into this plane of existence, we suffer from the lack of remembering who we are. And we spend most of our lifetime remembering this fragmented idea that we are connected to Source. Okay? And this problem occurs every single time. You would think, oh my God, when am I going to stop doing this craziness? Right? But this is the experience that we have. So when we forget what we are and we suffer from amnesia, we have a certain amount of time in a lifetime when our physical body is still in a decent form to remember it and get on point and do what we said we were going to do. Okay? But, and here's the big but, some of us as souls decide to take on things that are huge challenges. And we experience the growth of those challenges through adversity, suffering, and anguish. And sometimes we actually choose that on purpose to elevate the growth experience. It's kind of like challenging ourselves to the most difficult calculus equation that has ever existed. Okay? We take that on for our own soul's growth and elevation. Okay? Because if it's easy, remember last class that I said that calm waters do not great sailors make? Right? If it's easy, then what's the point? Right? So we choose these situations in our lives on a higher level, not on our ego level, not on our personality level. We choose them in order to experience ourselves and to grow to remembering what we truly are. Okay? So we spend a great deal of time remembering our mission and our purpose. And it is said that, I've read a lot about this, and it is said that in the past, for example, the times when people did not live beyond their 30s and 40s, that other beings of higher planes came to help us so that we could get well. In other words, not suffer from diseases and perish before we would be able to get on our missions in understanding that we needed to accomplish something. How could you, if I can't even imagine if I had not had the opportunity to have these 20 more years beyond my 30s, right? I can't even imagine the mental state that I would be. Imagine yourself 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, if for those of us who are capable, which I think all of us on this chat can, okay? 20 years ago, would you have the wisdom that you have today? Would you have the capacity that you have today? Would you be able to help others on their mission like you have today? Right? No. Would you know what you're even doing here? It's impossible, right? So this is the reason that we are in this space and time with this ability and this incredible, there's never been a better moment to be able to embrace and learn and grow and be in a place where we can expand the consciousness of this planet. Because we're living longer lives. Okay? And if we want to be in service of others, which is the point that we're trying to accomplish, although some people will remain in service of self for their entire lifetime. That is the truth. Everyone here has free will. Okay? So the things that I wrote down about this lesson of divine timing is that we are all on a seventh density cycle, journey up the ladder of density, okay, represented by our 7 chakras, or the light rays that are within us. Those of you who have awakened to yourselves this lifetime, which I can proudly say all of you that are interested in this information are here for this reason, have been blessed to have woken up to the midpoint of your chakra system, which is your heart. The green ray energy of your heart has been activated. Those that are not activated in this lifetime and remain in the 3 lower levels of their chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, those persons that are not ready to be awakened might spend their entire lifetime in those states and not make it to the awakening midpoint of their heart chakra. Okay? I think all of you are in a stage of knowledge and wisdom to understand this concept. When we are in the lower chakras, we are still in our survival, our ego. We're not necessarily getting to the point where we can be in service to others. We're still in service of self. Does that make sense? Okay? So by having the privilege to have reached a point in your awakening and ascension, to have climbed up the ladder, to be at the midpoint and above, you are in keeping with the density that we are activating on this planet right now, which is 4th density. I know it doesn't seem that way. I know we look at the news and we say, what the hell's going on out there? But that is not your reality. Now, this is where divine timing comes in. I know for a fact that nothing happens before its time. So your personal divine timing, I want to bring something to your attention. Probably the most magnificent moments in your life, right? The most life-changing circumstances in your life were not even consciously planned by you. Think about something, an occurrence, a moment in your life in which your life changed or transformed into something else. Did you really have to think that way through? Did you have to effort it to happen? Or did it happen on its own? Does anybody want to share a moment? Something that comes up for you that just before you knew it, you were like, oh, wow, I manifested this and I didn't even know. Yes, Leslie.
Mine was meeting my father.
Right. Did you effort that? Did you really yes, you planned the trip, you did this, you made the connection, but was it an effort that came from your mind, or was it an effort that came from your heart organically?
Yeah, it was from my heart. I reached out and I did my part, but it just organically happened.
Correct. It wasn't efforted. Okay? So see, to me, that is an expression, thank you, Leslie, of divine timing. It was the moment. It couldn't have happened 5 years earlier. It couldn't have happened 20 years earlier. It wasn't supposed to happen until it was meant to happen. And you know why? Because your heart lined up with it. Your vibration rose to the level of that being able to manifest in your reality. Do you get that? That's divine timing. Yes, Lourdes, you have your hand up.
Mine was when I got my first professional job. A friend of mine had changed her job and she told me about it. We were having lunch. I thought, oh my God, that's the greatest job I've ever heard of. If you ever leave, recommend me for the job. I went back to my job after lunch. I mentioned it to a friend and I totally forgot about it. 2 years later, she called me. She says, Lourdes, I'm going back to FP&L. You want this job? You want me to recommend you for this job? And I ended up getting the job. So I thought it and I let it go. I didn't even think it was possible.
You see, that's the lack of efforting that happens with divine timing. Thank you, Lourdes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that is the lesson of today. When we are in our vibration of thought versus the vibration of our heart, see the energy that came from just desiring something without thinking how that was going to happen? Okay? That is what divine timing is. When your vibration lines up with, like Abraham Hicks, with the vortex that is holding all of the desires that you have for your creation. But it will not happen, and trust me, I know this from personal experience. I know when I want something, but I'm trying to figure it out through my ego, it will not come through. It is when I am feeling my way with joy and love and happiness and excitement, or completely just letting it go, just like without any resistance whatsoever. That is when it occurs. That's the beauty of it. Yes, Florinda.
Actually, Lourdes reminded me that this is exactly how you and I met. It was very similar. It was definitely not planned. I had a desire, and it was through Patricia that it wasn't that I was looking for a job, but I didn't even know that she was working for you.
Yes.
And there was a desire of something else in my life, and she was supposed to teach me a program. It was something completely different. And then she kind of was busy, and then all of a sudden she said, listen, I don't know if I have time to teach you this program, but I'm leaving my job position right now, and I think you'll be a great match for me. And I'm like, all right. And that's how it happened. That's how you and I
got together
are here today.
Yes. Yes. You see, and I want you guys to, all of you probably have something similar that happened in your lives at some point. I want you to tap into that emotion that you were feeling. It wasn't a contractive emotion, right? It was an expansive emotion. Whenever you're feeling an expansive emotion, follow it. Whenever you're feeling that, oh, that was easy, it feels right, it feels good, follow it. Because that is your higher self telling you you're on the right track. You got it. This is it. Go for it. Okay? And that is divine timing. And until you have that emotion, you don't have the ability to connect with the bait with the fish. Okay? The fish is swimming around in that water. The bait is right there. But until that emotion is like connecting, the fish isn't caught. Okay? And we are trained in this third density by all the resources that we have around us, telling us that we're supposed to effort it. We're supposed to, money doesn't grow on trees, you got early bird catches the worm, it's like we're supposed to effort everything. But that is not true. Again, something that's very challenging to tell our teenagers. But I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because as I have been efforting, I couldn't manifest what I wanted until I released the resistance that I had with it. And this is where all the shadow work comes in, because we have to dive into our lower chakras, because in there is housed all of the negative emotions that we think our way around. If our thoughts are resentful, if our thoughts are angry, if our thoughts are in complaining mode, blaming mode, shaming mode, angry mode, if our thoughts are there, we are living in the lower chakras, and we're not living in our hearts. And it's challenging because we build those negative emotions through traumas that we bring with us, sometimes from other lifetimes, and sometimes from within this lifetime, and patterns that keep repeating. So these patterns that repeat in our lives are telling us, they're basically, you didn't get the lesson, so let's do it again. Let's try another time. I'm going to throw something else at you so that you can learn this lesson once and for all. And when we do, we release it, and we're able to manifest through our heart. Okay, remember that your heart is it's that transition point. The transition point between elevating yourself to a different level. And our free will, determines how quickly or how slowly we climb this ladder of the evolution of our own ascension. Okay? Our free will is always working with us. So we get to decide how quickly we want this to happen or not. And sometimes we feel stuck. Remember the lesson that I had about limbo? The limbo stuck state is that feeling of, how do I get rid of this negative feeling surrounding this manifestation? This desire that I have. How do I get rid of that stuckness? Okay? And we have to get through it by releasing the negative emotions surrounding it. Releasing the resistance means releasing the guilt, releasing the shame, releasing the anger. It's challenging work. So how quickly or how slowly in any lifetime we become awake to the understanding of what we truly are within is our choice. And we may get through an entire lifetime, and that may not happen until our deathbed. Or not. It may not even happen until the next lifetime. And like I said, it's up to you. Completely up to you. So once we make this connection, and once this occurs, it sets a course for our lives, and we understand that nothing is a waste of time or a useless endeavor. This is what I meant by understanding that nothing is a waste of time. What should we tell our children about time so we don't continue teaching them the wrong concept? That is a very, very good question, Lupe. And what we need to tell our children is what they really are. That they are powerful creators. that they are powerful creators that are always connected to their source, which is love, and that the best way to do anything is with love. And you know what? Children, by the way, before they start becoming teenagers, which that's a whole other story, children are the most innocent in the love. They have a purity of heart. They have a purity of heart that knows this. That's why they learn through play. They don't need to work, right? Because everything is provided for them. They're a perfect metaphor for us being children of God. If we would only have faith that everything is taken care of. If we would only understand that the universe has our back. And that also, by the way, that we have to understand the concept that everything is happening for our own good. Everything is happening for our own good. The universe is a friendly place because everything is purposeful. And whatever is showing up in your reality is of your own making. So our goal here to align with divine timing is to continually raise our vibration to the level of whatever's in our vortex. Now, Abraham Hicks says this all the time, right? But it's a hard job to do. How do we do it? Through silencing our mind, through our meditation practice. Nancy was sharing with me how she's meditating morning and evening. And being able to make that connection, it's kind of plugging into the batteries. Okay? If you don't plug in your phone or your device, you're not going to get connected. Find your way of self-awareness, okay? Understanding and being the observer of your thoughts. Are your thoughts in resistance to your well-being? Are you connecting to your higher self through quiet, through silence, through meditation, through prayer? Are you keeping a good practice of awareness? All of you are at a stage in which you are self-aware. But sometimes we walk around in our ego state of unconsciousness. So bringing ourselves back and declaring, this thought doesn't serve me, I transmute it and I am, for example, the thought of lack. Okay? The thought of lack can penetrate at any moment. And if you are in an observant state of awareness and you say, oh, why did I think that? Why did I think I don't have enough money for this, or I can't make that happen? And you observe that thought and you declare, I am not in lack. I am in a state of abundance. By affirming it, you have transmuted that negative thought into a positive thought. Okay? And this is how we align the vibration and we transmute anything that is in our lower chakras, our lower vibrational energies. We bring it up to our heart and love it away. We lovingly bless it to the next level. We take it and transmute it to the positive. And we must continuously do this. This isn't a one-time thing, guys. This is not a one and done. I wish it was, but it's not a one and done, okay? This is an over and over and over and over. And did I say over? Yes, we must do it, okay? It's the only way to it is through it, okay? The only way to this journey is through it. You can't bypass it. It's not. Now, you can choose of your own free will, and this is extremely important. You can choose of your own free will to bypass it for a while and say, you know what, I'm gonna take a vacation on doing this work. I it's too much for me. And stay in your lower chakras if you want. You can do it. There's nobody telling you you can't. Okay? But no matter what, you're going to have to do it. You can choose to do it in this lifetime. You can choose to do it in the next one. You can choose to do it in the next 10. It's up to you. But you will. Because it's the natural progression. We are all on a cyclical progression of 7 densities. Now, the great news, and this is what the beautiful news of the day is, in 2024, we have reached critical mass of 4th density. We are over 51%. Isn't that an amazing thing? And you're here to experience and witness it. You've made it. What does 7th density look like? 7th density is bliss. It's total connection. A lifestyle, not a diet. I learned the hard way. Yes, exactly. It's not a diet. Doing this work is transforming the work into play. I guess that's really what we're doing here. Okay? Doing this work is transforming the work or transmuting it into play. Because what we're doing here is playing. This is all an illusion. If there is no such thing as time, and we are eternal beings, then what is there to fear? What is there to fear? It's all an illusion if we're in a state of fear. That's all it is. So we are in the process of self-awareness, constant self-awareness. Once you are awake, there's no going back. And I'm in an incredible state of awareness from a perspective of everything that happens to me. I analyze it from a perspective of like, oh, what is this here to teach me? Why is this happening? Why did I manifest this occurrence? If I'm in a traffic jam, I'm like, oh, it must be because I'm supposed to listen to another YouTube. You understand? You can choose to look at it your own way. But if you get all riled up over the traffic jam and your emotions and your vibrations come down, I can guarantee you that's not going to serve you. And it could possibly turn into something even more negative, like a car accident. Okay? Or God forbid, a heart attack. You want to always be understanding that anything that is occurring out there is a reflection of what is occurring in here. Every moment of the present now. It's your choice. So if you want to get in alignment with your divine timing, the actions to take are to understand that you're always in observance of your vibrational state. You want to recognize when you are in resistance of something. And you need to ask yourself, what brought about this resistance? Did this occur before? When was the origin? What was the first origin of this resistance? Okay? In my own personal experience, I can tell you that I have had a resistance and traumatic experiences over manifesting some of my greatest desires in my career and world. And those of you who have known me for a long, long time know that I have a dream of manifesting design enlightenment on this planet. Okay? I am holding the first workshop for it this Saturday. It's a big dream for me, right? But I had a lot of trauma for over 10 years since I wrote my book regarding it, because I tried many different ways to make this happen. And I had a lot of negative experiences, like letdowns on how much I spent in marketing and promotion. And now as I look back at it, I've released the resistance to it because I recognized that the energy behind that desire was coming from a different place. Yes, I had the inspiration to write the book. Yes, I had the inspiration to integrate it into my world of interior design. Yes, I had the inspiration to help others in doing so. Some of you are on this chat, which I love very much. But I was under the belief system that I had to be this like celeb in order to be listened to, right? And that someone else was going to do that for me. And that what I did in my daily work was not enough. And that not enoughness is a negative state that is manifested from fear in my ego, in my personality, right? And that created resistance. That created resistance in me. And therefore, it postponed my divine timing of this manifesting into the world. Today, I feel that I have gotten to a place that I've released that resistance. And therefore, my first workshop will manifest, no matter how big, no matter how small, no matter what, because I'm doing it from my heart. I'm doing it because I want to be in service of the world. And that's enough. That's enough. And whatever that becomes is enough. There's a difference in the energy of that. I hope that you recognize that I'm using myself as an example because I want you to use yourself as an example. What is in your heart as a desire that is being held back by your personality or the conditions and core beliefs that you hold for yourself that are still in fear? Is there something there that needs to be expressed? Thank you, Lily. Yes, I am doing it through love. And I'm letting God take over. I believe in total faith that whatever it's going to be will be. And that's enough. So I hope that you learn the lessons of time and how they are, let's say, being integrated into your life. I hope you understand the principles that there is this structure that we live in time. And by the way, one of the most beautiful aspects of these principles is that if we heal this present moment in time right now, we heal the past and we heal the future. Such as when we do constellation work. When we're able to align, and Leslie, you shared your experience with your father. I truly believe that the constellation work that you did, that shadow work that you released that time, helped you to manifest this desire of meeting your father. It really did. You didn't do that with tremendous, your soul reached out for that to make it happen, right? And it released any resistance that was in the way of you manifesting that desire, right? And coming from that place of, I want to connect with my ancestor, with my father, that I had not had an experience to do, right? It came from your heart. Your divine timing will manifest as you tap in to your heart and not your thoughts. We need to get in that vibrational zone by understanding the principles of time. Okay? From a higher perspective, there is no such thing as time. You have all the time in the world. All the time in the world. But the law of attraction is definitely working within the parameters of this universe. So what you vibrate in is what you will manifest. Because it's always mirroring what you are within. Always. This is a law. It is a given. So if you want your divine timing to kick in, concentrate on elevating the loving vibration that you have within your heart. And visualize it from love and above. And release any resistance that you have in your lower body. Okay? Because that is what's going to help you to get in tune with everything that you want. So Nancy was telling me how so many things are manifesting in her reality because she's clearing the way through this joyous, loving feeling that she has. If you're feeling good, if you're feeling excited, if you're feeling in a place of joy, excitement is one of my favorite emotions. Whenever you feel excited, like follow that. I mean, think of your dog when you get home. It's like, oh my God, they're here. That's the feeling, okay? Imagine yourself like your dog getting home, okay? That's the emotion that you want to tap into to get into the timing of your desires. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you understood all of the principles of time. Okay? And remember, you're never wasting it. It is not a waste. It is just another lesson that we must learn. There is no such thing. You are eternal. You are whole. You are complete. You are amazing manifestors. You are incredible creators of your own reality. And you will never, ever, ever find yourself with more support than this moment in time right now. We are fully supported. Yes, Mom?
You reminded me of something that I've read many, many years ago in the most incongruous place in the world, in a hillbilly service station going to Pahokee, Florida.
Okay.
And Gothic letters on the wall. It said, "Yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is cash. Spend it wisely."
Yep. I love it. Today.
The eternal oi.
Yes. I like to think of today as cash.
I love Mama V. So wise all the time.
Thank you. I love our cash. Let's spend it wisely.
Yes.
And let's make lots of positive deposits on that note. Let's make lots of positive deposits into our emotional frequency bank. Okay? Let's elevate our vibration together. Let's dream big, because big dreams will be happening. I've never felt more in a state of transformation and calling and alignment than today. And I feel so blessed to have been on this journey, to evolve to this level like we all are. We all have an opportunity now to get in complete alignment with the universe's energy, which is fourth density. And you know what fourth density is, guys? Fourth density is represented by the green ray chakra, which is your heart. Remember that. Your heart is the midpoint of your chakras, from love and above. Okay? Yes?
For your information, the green ray, or when you work with the lights, the different lights, the green is the light of healing.
Yes. That because it's love.
Yeah.
You know what? On that note, let me express something. When Jesus healed, okay, when he walked this earth and he healed because he had the belief that he saw the human in front of him, no matter how diseased, okay, that person in front of him was whole and complete. And through his belief, the love ray of his heart would heal. Do you understand? It was a knowing that that person was not diseased. That soul, that being was not diseased. That faith, that belief is what we are all learning here. Get into the space of that loving belief, and you cannot help but manifest your dreams. I wish you all to be in the love and the light of Christ. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed what we talked about today. And if you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We love to hear what you have to say.